Hey Geek, so when it comes to video editing, my very first experience was actually in Microsoft Windows with Windows Movie Maker. And so for anybody who remembers this, I think this is going to be something that's very familiar. And I would also say nostalgic because I think for a lot of people, this would also be their first experience because Windows Movie Maker was built into Microsoft Windows. And even though it's definitely not the same or even comparable to video editors of today, it is still one that is a first and I would say really beloved experience for a lot of people out there, myself included. But it wasn't until I found other video editors that I really started getting into it. And the one video editor that really got me into this whole thing was Openshot. So Openshot is a free and open source video editor. It was created back in 2008 and it is available on all major platforms. It is available on Microsoft Windows, Apple Mac, and most importantly for me, Linux, because that is the primary operating system that I use. I've been using Linux Mint as my primary operating system for many, many years now. And I would say when it comes to OpenShot performance, it performs best in Linux. So with all of that being said, it has been a while since I have used OpenShot. So today I'm revisiting this and kind of seeing if things have changed and what improvements that have been made. And at the time of this video, I'm currently using Openshot 3.1.1. Now, if you're not familiar with Openshot, I would say for most people, this is probably one of the best beginner-friendly video editors. And as you can see, it has a very bold and colorful look, which is something that has definitely changed over time. I would say this newer version, I think it's a lot more appealing, I would say, for beginners because it kind of gives you everything you need right in front of you. So here you can see all your project files. You could sort it by video, audio, image, or show all. And then whenever you drag your clip into your project timeline, I think it's really easy for you to tell what's going on. There's multiple tracks. All your main functions here, you could add tracks. You could enable snapping. You could do cuts with this razor tool. You could also do other things by adding markers or moving over to different key points and also centering the timeline on the playhead. And there is another project timeline right here above it. So you could kind of see where you are at. And a lot of your main features are here for you to see. So the first one is transition. So if you are adding multiple clips together, it's really great for you to be able to see some visual representation of transitions, which I think is always nice, especially for people who are just starting out and they kind of want to know how these transitions might look like. And then the next thing is effects. There's a lot of different effects here available. Very easy to use. You just drop it here in your clip. And then you could also adjust the properties right here. And you could also remove this as well. And so that is still the same. And then a new thing that I'm seeing are these emojis. This is really funny. And I would say this is something that more people have used over the years. And it's nice to see that OpenShot makes it easy for you to add these emojis. Regardless of what you think about them, I think it's just really fun to be able to add emojis and easy to add as well. So really nice feature. And then other things in OpenShot, honestly, they really haven't changed much at all in terms of functionality, the overall layout. And I think that is a good thing because for people who are just starting out, they don't want to have too many complex things. And for people who haven't used OpenShot for many years, it's nice to have that familiarity. And other things that are still, I would say, a problem with OpenShot are still here. The first thing I would say is Blender. If you wanted to use animated titles, it does use Blender as its tool. But unfortunately, whenever you do try to use this, it'll normally have an error unless you have the correct OpenShot path. And previously, all I would have to do is just go ahead and install Blender, and just having these default commands would work. But nowadays, it doesn't work. And even if I put in the direct path, I still have errors, at least in Linux Mint. And so I would hope that, in the future, they would be able to make that easier. And I know that the developer doesn't control Blender, but it just would make things that much easier for new users. And then another thing is having more advanced features. For example, if you did want to add keyframes, you would have to go through the properties. You would right click, and then here you could add keyframes. And even though this functionality is here, I don't think it's really obvious. And at the same time, I don't think it's easy to implement. And it would just be nice to have a separate keyframe functionality here. And you can adjust things as a normal keyframe right here. So if I were to just check this out and play it, then the keyframes, they do work. And as you see right there. So but the only thing is, as I stated, I wish some of this functionality would be more, I would say, easy to find and easy to use. And that's one thing that hopefully Openshot will add in the future. And I know that this isn't meant to be a more advanced tool, but keyframing is one of the features that I think a lot of people would benefit from. And so, other than that, I don't think many things have changed with Openshot. And I would say the changes that they have made, I think, is for the better, especially making it more visually, I would say, appealing for new users and just easy for you to get into the whole world of video editing. So, if you did have any thoughts on this, be sure to leave in the comments area below. And if you did want to see my Openshot tutorials, even though it is for older versions, a lot of the same things that I go over is still applicable today because, as I stated earlier, there's not really any major changes. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you on another episode. Hey geeks, if you are a brand new creator and you simply want something easy to get you started, well, I got something for you with my Creator Starter Kit. This is a super simple step-by-step guide that's going to take you from having no channel to developing your very first YouTube channel, along with ideas, thumbnail designs, and other creator tips, including marketing. And the best part is, all of this is free. Simply head over to the link below, check out my page, and get started creating.